What's happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to the postseason press conference for Exodus, the last of the press conferences. I forget which day this will get uploaded. I think like Thursday, Wednesday? I don't know. Either way, we have a decent amount of the team here. Let's see, Georgie Boy. Yeah, it's Pear. Aurora, Reborn, who's a mental health coach apparently. Laser, Kemi, Kylus, Toxic will eventually figure out how to join on their own. Either way, we'll get started with the questions. So I'll just start with the one I usually start with, since the team's management is here, so they could talk a little bit about this. Which is, what was the plan coming into the draft for this season?
So initially during Pugs, we had like very few people there to host. So it was mostly me and Z kind of struggling to scout with the with like the 40 some odd people we had. But we picked out a few, like I think it was Dizzy and Axel were like our top two. And then Dizzy got sniped from us, so we ended up going with Axel, and we had like multiple backup plans if we got pick sniped and whatnot.
I will say on top of that, in terms of like draft as well, when we did get sniped, Null came in and made some decision on who we'd pick up as replacements as well.
Yeah, Null was
Hence pickups like Dad and such.
Mm-hmm.
Now, rather early on in the season, I don't think there's any way to skirt around this. There was obviously a decent amount of drama between the management and a certain group of players. Without getting too much into like the ugly details, was the drama something that was like pre-existing, like
No.
once you picked them up, or it happened like right around the time after?
There was something that happened during, I believe, I don't remember who we were playing. It was one of like the earlier games. Something happened during the first map, and I believe
MI6.
It was MI6? Okay.
I believe so.
People got like upset with how Fish handled the situation. He just got really mad at what had happened, so on. And then we were talking about it because we'd had players that had like come to Null and were like saying they didn't want to play with Fish anymore, and we were talking about it in staff chat, trying to like work through it and decide the best thing to do moving forward. And that's when staff chat got leaked, players got upset, and everything else happened from there.
Right, it had like a giant rift between like one entire friend group in the team and then like the remainder of the team. You said that happened around the MI6 game?
It was between MI6 and the game after, so I think week 2 or week 3?
Mm-hmm.
MI6 was week 3.
Week 3.
Yeah.
So, I guess as management, you guys obviously had to deal with a mass exodus of players that just no longer wanted to be a part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
How did you deal with that? Like, were you trying to like keep the players on board? Were you already like looking for people you could trade or just like pick up?
So right after the leak happened, we actually had a huge team meeting. Like we're getting in a VC at like this time on this day, and we're gonna talk everything out. Because I didn't want the team to implode, obviously. I wanted to like work through the problems and be able to move forward still and continue being a team, because I liked the synergy we had, the team was playing well together and all that stuff. And then I think something else happened, I don't know. Something else must have happened like behind the scenes after the meeting, because everybody was just like, yeah, we're leaving, and that was that. But after everyone decided they were leaving, it was a really rough night. We lost like, I think 10
We cut
10
down
players in a
from,
night.
I want to say, a roster of like 11, 12 people to a roster of like 3.
Yeah. And then the week after that, Null, because I had just started work, so I wasn't like super available to be able to be looking into stuff. And the days I would help Null look through like the FA pool, and we mostly Null, put together a list of free agents that he wanted to trial, which ended up being like literally all but 2 people who we didn't pick up.
I think there was one pickup we had the week before, which was Wizard, who had to leave as well.
We
at
had
one
Wizard.
point.
Wizard had a pretty serious IRL problem that he had to go take care of, which meant he wouldn't be able to play. So we ended up trading for Pear, Coffee, and Aurora, and picking up everybody else from FA pool. I believe that's right. It was a while ago.
I could probably take up the what's it called, registry.
Yeah.
But
So-
either way, what would you say is like the biggest thing that changed once you had this like mass influx of new players to the team?
Um, I don't know, cause the team. So from when the old roster, I call it old roster and new roster, and I've got my little saying that I made up, which is a little toxic. But so the old roster, they played together well, and they did good in scrims. But new roster, within like literally the first 2 days of playing each other, were rolling 4.1 scrims. It was crazy. So the confidence level in the new team we had found and put together was up. The synergy also seemed to be pretty good for at least a management standpoint. I know some of the players specifically weren't super happy with what was happening, like synergy wise. I didn't find out about this till like Twitlongers were happening, but other than that, I thought the team worked together really well, at least from what I was seeing.
Yeah, and in particular, I believe right after you guys established like the newer roster and got more settled, I'm pretty sure you went on a pretty decent win streak because you ended the season relatively high in the standings, if I recall.
I think we'd only lost one game before the implosion. I could
No,
be
we
wrong.
had a decent record before. I'm pretty sure it was
Yeah,
we
I
went
think we were
2-1.
Yeah, we were 2-1, and then we reverse swept capitalism, then beat tenacity, and then I think we beat Wombat.
And it was it was
Wombats
Wombats as
after?
well. And then we lost to DC 3-2.
Yeah, that was in playoffs. The DC game was playoffs.
The DC game was playoffs? That's my bad then.
I think so. Right? I don't know. I could be wrong.
We
I thought we
lost to
played
someone
DC.
else post roster rebuild as well. I
Did
don't.
we?
Yeah,
Oh, you're right. We might have.
because we definitely didn't go into playoffs with one loss.
It might have been two.
You lost
yeah.
to DC week 5. So, like,
Oh,
That was it.
Yeah, I forgot the ordering of the games. That's my bad.
So I guess in particular, right? I'm curious who had like a large impact in like leading the new roster.
Before we got Toxic, because Toxic was a humongous lead in comms and most of the stuff we did. Cause
Helped design some comps we started running as well.
Yeah. Before that, I'd say probably a mix of Gerg and Laser.
I'd agree. As well as a bit of SPT as well.
Yeah. You guys are free to talk, you know.
Just everyone's muted.
I don't want to.
Oh, I'm nervous, man.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I have to hold my breath. It smells in here.
Okay.
I just thought that there was some stuff that I wanted us to run, so I was like, "Yo, we should try this out. This is kind of sick." And so we started playing like Arissa Diva towards the end.
We basically looked at what Owl was running and said, "Hey, let's run that."
Yeah, pretty much.
But that was when the Owl meta was shifting too, so it caused a bunch of like.
It was
people.
it was a comp that I coach my university team, my university collegiate team, and it's a comp that we run over there, and we like really dominate on it. And I was like, this was I don't remember seeing it in Overwatch League too much until recently. I don't know when it came up in Overwatch League. I haven't been
I think it got
quite
really
up to
big
date
during,
this season. But yeah, that was quite fun to bring it into this team. I think we did it quite well.
I agree.
So in particular, we already established that you had lost to Double Cap, but the following week you actually came back and 3-0'd Tenacity, which ironically I got Tenacity's perspective and whatnot, but I'm kind of curious to hear like what went into that game for you guys, because obviously regardless of whatever hardships Tenacity might have had, they're still a good team, and it took a lot to beat them.
All I
Yeah.
know is I went into that match being told this is the #1 team. And then afterwards I came out of it thinking these guys suck doo-doo ass.
I don't believe I was there, so I'll let everybody else talk on the game, but I was at work. Oh, I definitely wasn't there. I was at work, I checked my phone and saw Z who had messaged me, and he's like, "We won." I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" I had faith that we could win. I just didn't think we were going to.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't remember.
We came. Very good.
Oh, you can go.
Okay.
I'm looking for something.
I think we came into it thinking like, oh, this is gonna be at most like a 2-3 or a 1-3, and then we realized that they were down a couple players, and we kind of got that winning mentality back and took that momentum and kind of steamrolled. It didn't hurt that they picked our best map for escort, but that was a pretty big confidence booster going into the next week as well.
I don't know what you're talking about, Laser. We are not a Jib one-trick team, okay?
Oh no,
No,
we, are
not at all.
we are definitely not Gibraltar one tricks. No, I also just felt like we played really well that game. Just everything kind of came together.
So I won't go into like a lot of the specific details that Tenacity talked about in their press conference, but I will say that according to them, they were more or less boomed up until like losers finals in playoffs because of losing to you guys. So you can take some pride in that.
Let's go.
That's
yeah,
really,
I'd be boomed too.
I think that's
Yeah,
just
that's fair.
just interesting because they were like they had their star hit scan on flex support and they were down their starting flex support, and so even if they're like scan players that good flex support, it messed with their roster synergy. So interesting that they took that one hard, I guess.
Apparently they had like a tough week. They go more into it in their own press conference, but
Okay.
basically they just kind of like were thrown out of sync, and it took them at least 3 weeks to get back into it. So you can take some pride in that, despite the fact that they ended up beating you in
Yeah.
losers finals. But
That's very fair. I would be boomed too if I ever lost to Laser like that. Very
valid,
embarrassing.
man, valid.
I was surprised. Surprised that we did so well against at the time, because I was like very new. That was the first game I played, I think,
I think so. Yeah.
against like the supposed top team. I was like, wow. And we didn't like. I don't think we had our strongest roster in.
I don't know if we did. but
Georgie
I
was still playing support.
Yeah,
off tank.
bringing in Toxic. It's not just that like you were a really good player, but also that extended our comp flexibility a ton. Because like prior we couldn't really run the ball comps and we weren't very good on the Arisa comps, and he was definitely our like better, like he's actually comfortable on those heroes, and so it worked out well for us. So we
got
could
to
like
the point where Toxic was basically a necessity in most of our comps. Just because he's so flexible in like basically every role.
it also just like you can't like before that we had really only played Arisa comps and Rhine comps, and so if Tenacity had been preparing for us just to be playing you can't really practice for that.
Yeah. We also didn't have Toxic that weekend that we played in our last game, which was really unfortunate.
Yeah, Toxic,
that really
it's
sucked.
your fault. It's
Yeah, it's
your
definitely
fault.
I'm not gonna like make excuses, but there were plenty of other things we could have done better, because we very well could have won that game even without Toxic, but it's how it went.
so
Unlucky.
especially towards the end of the season, once you guys hit like playoffs and whatnot, you tended to be like extremely flexible, not just like in what you could play, but what you actually did play, right? It felt like you were just throwing out a random comp every now and then, playing basically anything that wasn't meta most of the time, and you found success with it. Were a lot of those compositions like set plays, or was it just kind of like you all deciding in the spur of the moment, or more or less just saying like, hey, let's try this, and it worked?
I feel like we didn't really specialize into any comps like some other teams might. Like some teams like just brawl one trick, and that can get you good at a comp, and we didn't really do that. But we basically just practiced different comps based on map type, and what we played was more or less like an amalgamation of the previous 2 or 3 like tier 1 and 2 metas. And we just kind of threw together what comps felt right on what maps. Although there were a couple that we kind of just invented new stuff on. Like we might have played it every time we played. We played Laser Widow, and then whoever was in Flex DPS on Echo on a newest attack, just because Laser's Widow like consistently would get picks on first.
I've got a clip of
With
me
double
choking
level.
on water when I was watching Laser. Dude,
So-
he hit this nastiest shot. I don't know who we were playing, but it was on Jib, and I literally started
Do you
It was
choking.
on
see?
volcanic, or yeah, it was easy.
Okay.
So it was mostly like just a we pick what felt like the best comp on that map thing, and like that'd be what we scrimmed on those maps. So we didn't really like we prepared those comps, but we didn't really like specialize into any comps, like just generally.
I think we specialized in not. I think that was our specialty, not the
Yeah.
Reinhardt character.
I'm just not Ryan.
No
We-
rectangle man in our comps.
Absolutely
We
not.
played a lot of Rectangle Man in the first game, and then after that we were like, we don't like the Rectangle Man.
We would like the Rectangle Man, but the Rectangle Man's just bad. I don't recommend him anymore.
Yeah.
Just leave on. Rectangle Man can have a map as a treat.
So, getting more into like playoffs, because you guys had one hell of a playoff experience looking through the bracket and remembering the games. So you started off with a 6-map series in the upper bracket
Yeah.
against Double Cap, barely losing, one tie. What was going through your heads during and like shortly after losing such a long series?
Watching, I forgot how stressful it is to watch a team play and not be able to do anything. It's insane. I had full faith in them to be able to win, and I knew we could. And then there was like certain things I'm like, oh no, why? Why are we doing this? And then I was like, oh wait, that was good. And it was just a fucking emotional roller coaster the entire time.
The only thing I remember really thinking from that game was, wow, I thought Double Cap was going to be a little worse going into playoffs, and they leveled up significantly.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of that game, I felt like really terrible because, especially on Rialto, there was a moment right at the end where I'm assuming they can't contest if I kill. I think it was a Pharah. I was like, oh, the Pharah's the only one that can touch. So as long as I trade for the Pharah, even if I die, they can't touch, but they could touch. And so I die, and then they slowly come back and they actually retake it, and then but it's not like OT fight. It's like one of the fights when we were right about to push it to the end, and then after we lost that fight, it was like we started scrambling, and then after we lost the game because of that, I was like, oh no, because I knew I wasn't going to be available for the next weekend, which meant that was 2 games that I just wouldn't be around for. And I was like, oh, this is and I know what we're gonna lose when I'm not playing, communication wise. So it just like after that game, I like kept it to myself, but I was like, man, this is gonna be so much harder to continue the run after the double cap game.
Dude, what you didn't hear was the bank transfer that he got was pretty large to toss
my
that
God.
map.
Bro, it's so painful.
Yeah,
After-
I don't think I've been more tilted after a series because I felt like I could have done so much more if my ping wasn't what it was.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was that game.
Yeah, and I was pretty pissed at myself. Not even at myself, more of like the situation.
Mm-hmm. Which is completely reasonable.
I only thought was Rialto just sucks. I've never hated a map more.
Oh yeah, and I lost the next
I-
2 times on fuller holds for BPL as well.
By the end of Rialto, or by the end of playoffs, Rialto took the lead for least favorite map.
Yeah, that map sucks.
Well, I mean, despite that loss, you did end up going pretty far in the lower bracket, all things considered.
We beat Navino team, that's all that matters. That's what I needed after Flux last season. I needed to beat Navino team.
I still can't believe we lost that map that I didn't play. I was so upset. Against Wombat, I think it was, or something.
Well, since
Did
we
we lose that one?
ironically have someone from Mortal Wombat here, Reborn,
We do.
Hi, Reborn.
Unfortunately.
wanna give the insight on that
So
that side of things.
I think if we went against like any other team, then maybe we could have won. It's just that like EXO, I don't know, y'all just kind of play weird shit, and we just kind of like just die against weird shit. I don't know, we just kind of fall over. It's like
Reinhardt is weird
unfortunate.
shit.
whatever. Like, GG go next season, I guess.
We're not like the other teams.
I remember playing against you guys was really weird too, though. Not necessarily in playoffs, but like going into playoffs, you guys like one-tricked six-man, and I heard that you guys were like just practicing ball at that point and didn't really care about about like that final week game. I could be wrong on where I heard that.
ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because we were like, yo, Owl's just playing ball. Ball is kind of broken if you play it right, and I'm like, let's
Yeah.
go for
And
it.
then you guys like one-tricked six-man into us for the last game of the regular season, and we were very confused.
Yeah, I don't know why we play six man because it wasn't like a long time until we practiced six man. Like we were practicing ball at that point, and I felt like we would have done like a lot better on the ball, but we were like, nah, let's go six man because it's what we usually play. We don't even usually play six man. We play like the weird like May some TP thing on Legion. So yeah, I don't know what that was about, and unfortunately, I did give Laser a clip with 3K pulls on that map specifically. But I hope I brought it back a little bit with my Doompiss on what's it, Night Market? Yeah.
True, Reborn Doom OTP.
I think Kern said I got like a flooded deadlift from that map. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure though.
I know my biggest worry going into the Wombat game was definitely fucking Doomfist, man. I hate Doomfist.
Doompiss is a silly character.
I hate him. I have very strong feelings.
Prepping
about
for
certain
teams that run
character.
odd strats is really weird because you can't really you can't scrim specifically for them because like at this level, like you can say LF scrim teams that play specific, like more specifically this stuff, and they'll be like, no one does that. Like you won't. So if you like want to practice specifically for a comp thing, you have to do it mostly theoretically.
Yeah, I don't know. On Wombats, I think to a certain extent we try to play with my Doomfist, but then like we just never played it right. So I only played it in either like on Night Market and just run it down on supports, or if we needed more like tempo and brawl, then I would go Doomfist, but that's about it. Otherwise, I'm just on Tracer, my other one trick.
I think we actually have a question from Rockcrafts, maybe?
Oh.
Oh yeah, I booped off rock traps in a WA warm-up once.
You gotta accept the invite, Rock. There you go.
Okay. I don't have a question. Okay, actually, what do you guys think about
booped you
Overwatch
off.
2?
Wahaha.
What kind
Overwatch
of
2.
question?
What do you guys think about Overwatch 2?
Oh,
I
I'm
think-
so glad you asked.
I
As
am
a
inhaling
developer,
such amounts of copium.
And he's gone.
I don't think it's gonna save Overwatch's dying fan base right now.
It
I
is
don't really
pretty
think
dead.
much can.
I don't like that's the goal. I think the goal is to bring in like a new fan base
Yeah.
or like people that left
Yeah.
a while
trying to
ago.
get-
Definitely more like shooter than like MOBAs.
We'll see how it goes. I'm a little worried, but I like conceptually the reworks at least. I don't know if I
It'll
like.
be
I
interesting
hate
for the tank and off tank
the
players.
new UI looks awful. That's all I have to say about it.
Valid,
Bro.
valid.
It's made me feel like I have to get the most out of my Overwatch 1.
Yeah.
It's going to get like deleted from existence when the new game comes out.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
telling
you
all the
see-
hog mates to count their days.
If there's
mean-
an actual influx of players, everyone can just hit GM easy.
I mean, personally, I'm looking forward to the Bastion changes as a Bastion player myself.
You're not okay.
It's the real reason I didn't play in this season. I wasn't able to play Bastion on any maps.
I'm gonna.
There's a lot of contention to that.
He's been
that
trying to
play.
No,
play
it's
Bastion
true,
for
it's
3
true.
seasons. I've been
I've been
on a
since
team
Vancouver Vision
with
trying to
him
convince people to play it.
for like around a year of just straight teams with him, and all he talks about is Bastion, and I'm gonna throw him.
You know, I'm shocked we didn't TP Bastion on Kings.
Yeah, I hard banned.
I
the
wanted to so
130.
bad.
I've seen it work like twice, and that's it.
Well, now you can have a different kind of AC 130 strat.
Just-
Exactly, have
just-
Bastion playing spawn.
I can't get you in here if you keep undoing the request. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore him until he stops doing that. I can't drag him or anything. Right, so anyways, you guys did have a relatively successful run up through the lower bracket right up until your rematch with Tenacity. So what kind of went into that game?
No toxic, GG's.
This
Yeah,
The toxic team
our-
boomed.
So it wasn't
What?
just, it wasn't just
This is
that. It
unreal.
was that we had to retool a lot of stuff going into that like last weekend just for like, okay, we can't really play the ball stuff, or like if we do, it'll be kind of scuffed. And between that and just, I think some other like a few people just kind of having like the league just dragging for like being that far in. I think it just kind of killed the mental. In the
I know
final,
the
like,
Tenacity game was
weekend.
rough for SBT as well because he lost his team in BPL at the same time.
SBT was like I don't take this the wrong way. You were mega boomed going into that game.
It was very mega boomed. It was embarrassing, and honestly.
There was a lot of factors that played into our demise. We can say that.
Yeah,
So I guess
and
as
then Rialto again.
Rialto.
Not the Widow kills at least 3 on Rialto first to full hold harder than
I
we
see
full
that in my
held.
nightmares.
The Rialto incidents.
The Rialto
Where we
incident.
did, like, where's like it's the Doofenshmirtz 2 nickels meme where we twice we full held Rialto and then got full held harder because of a Widow popping
Yeah.
off.
And it's happened to me 4 times now.
At least you broke the curse in.
And
I
then
think
I
it
broke the
happened-
curse.
I think the exact thing happened to me in a comp game the next day, but I've hardly I don't think I've played Rialto since.
But you know what, guys? It wouldn't be Exodus if we didn't have a whole bucket's worth of problems.
True.
Been happening since the org was created.
I mean, at least you don't have Red Panda Ash anymore.
Oh, I don't want
That's
to talk about
that's
it.
an old meme. That tilted Frazzle
What about Red
so
Knight Sigma?
hard.
Oh, stop! I'm gonna start crying. I've literally got PTSD from season 1. Please don't bring me back.
So, anyways, since arguably Exodus had one of the rougher seasons for season 4, I mean, I think looking back on it, it's the only team that had a quote-unquote implosion. I think.
I think
just special.
what was Orange team at the end? I can't remember their name.
Idolize.
Vitalize
Vitalize,
also
yeah.
imploded. Like maybe
yeah,
even
kinda.
maybe even harder than Exo did.
Yeah.
At least we
there
came
wasn't
back from it.
there wasn't another major implosion this season.
I don't think Vitalize retained a starter between the implosion. Like
Little.
they
Little
Yeah,
still.
Yeah, they
Little-
maintained
little-
Little, that was it.
But,
Oh no, wait, they still had that one person that they had what's Ice Inferno, I think.
no, he wasn't on the roster
Um,
beforehand.
Small Hamster?
No,
think
they
he-
dropped him.
They dropped all small.
They had
people.
Archivist and
Archivist,
They
yeah.
they kept Archivist on and then they dropped him like the next week, I think.
No, he's still on.
Did he?
Yeah, he
was
stayed
still
on.
Okay,
Yeah, he was
I
just
just don't know if
benched.
he was around much at the end.
they just benched him.
Yeah.
I think he played a map at the end.
He played map, I think, against Capitalism.
I think he played Rialto, actually, funny enough.
I don't know. He was
Yeah.
mostly their Sombra specialist, but they stopped playing Sombra for the most part. Either way, especially since I don't have a press conference lined up with Vitalize, I'm kind of curious, and literally anyone can answer this one, not just the management, but especially if there's if you were around like during the implosion, what do you think you would have liked to do differently if you had like another chance?
Acted sooner. Because apparently we took too long to decide what we were gonna do, which, I mean, some people thought we knew about, like, the problems before we did. Some of the players, I mean. They thought, because the problems obviously started Saturday night, but we didn't find out till, like, end of Sunday what was going on. And then the Monday, I think, or Sunday night was when everything started, like, going to shit. And I don't know, I wish we could have found out sooner or done something more to save it. Hi, Gerg.
Oh, sorry, there's a fucking mosquito in my eye.
A mosquito in your eye?
Gerg,
Yeah,
hello.
I'm with family right now, but I came outside to say hi to everyone. I hope you're
Hi,
all doing
Gerg.
well.
I
Hello,
miss you
Michael.
so much. I miss you so much.
I miss you too, Georgie. We need to reunite sometime.
Yes.
I had one thing to say. Looking for Dommy Mommy. My Twitter is Michael J23. All right, bye.
I mean, as long as they're not 17.
I don't know what.
Oh,
I don't know what he's
yeah.
talking about. I'm literally right here, but okay. I have a unique perspective on the implosion. I think it was amazing because without it, I couldn't have joined this team, and I couldn't have gotten Brad to join this team. So,
I
This-
should have asked the Wi-Fi to join too.
Actually,
oh wait, you could have
so I
gotten.
didn't.
He's under the limit. He was
Hey
dead.
man, all I'm saying is it doubled the amount of people I got to meet this season. So
Old roster who.
Look, I didn't really have any opinion on or contact with the old roster, but I kind of had something. But I will say I had kind of something similar. Where is Pepega doing any of like one of these, by the way?
Ironically, they weren't up until like 5 minutes into this one, where Pufa DM'd me and is like, "Hey, can I do one at 9?" So yes.
Okay, well we'll see what they have to say. But essentially, what happened on Pepega was I got like permabenched hard. So in the first, I kind of made the mistake of saying I was sort of comfortable playing off tank on my like player resume, just as like I don't I don't scrim this, but I'm half competent. So if you need me to like ring it, I can do that for pugs. And Pepega took that as okay, we'll play her on off tank for the first 3 weeks while Ryu is suspended and then moving. And after 1 week, they realized that A, I'm not good at off tank, and B, I just didn't synergize with the main tank well. And so I got like, and so they played other people at off tank, and that was fine. But I also got like permabenched even in scrims on main support. Like I did not get a scrim map on Pepega after the first week, and I even like like they said I had some synergy problems with the main tank, but I was not playing my main role at the time. And so I should have asked for a transfer sooner, but I am also glad for EXO's implosion because it means that I got to go on a roster where I actually played some.
I'm glad we got to give more people who are benched a chance, to be honest. Because the people
Was a
who
starter
were
on a
benched,
team before I came over.
like Gerg, I think was maybe like half benched on. I don't even remember where we got him from.
No, he wasn't half bench. He was like bench.
Was he on
bench.
capitalism?
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he
bench
was on
bench?
cap. Yeah.
Well, I'm just glad we got him because he's an insane tank player. Both roles.
If I remember right from Cap, he said that he played some initially, and he was kind of like their comm leader, and then they took him out because they liked the other tanks more, and Cap's comms
Oh,
kind of died without him.
interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really happy with how the second roster turned out, and I'm kind of happy the implosion happened because I got to meet more people who I also really enjoy being around, and now I get to be on Toxic's team for VPL, which is fun. As a staff.
Let's go.
Because this game makes me want to die when I play it, so I refuse.
Alright, well I do have one last question for you all. A little bit lighter, I like to save this one for last to end it on a happy note. So what would you say your favorite memory from the season was?
Well, it's a little, well, there's a couple. Something that became like our rally call is it's specifically the way SBT says it. It's when SBT says pegging team before we start. It's
I copied the
so-
same way Georgie says it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just you specifically. I remember saying it, and it became our thing from like literally the week the second roster started playing together until the very end. Like that was our rally call. It hyped the team up. It's just I find it very funny.
My favorite memory is when we got eliminated, so I didn't have to play with all these bozos anymore.
Oh.
I remember,
Especially Laser. That guy smells.
Hey man.
I will say
The,
personally, my favorite memory is the capitalism game where we reverse sweep them.
yeah,
that
the
was
reverse
pretty
That
Fairly
was the best
comfortable.
news I'd
capitalism.
ever heard.
The Gibraltar in that game was like a big turning point, and just winning the final map in that game after like going down 0-2 with a new roster felt really nice.
Especially after all the shit I got from the implosion, ending up getting third and having such like a great team under me to like have you guys in playoffs and even get third just felt great. So
I really like turning up to the Tenacity game and everyone's like, "Oh, this is the best team," and then just kind of being free the whole game, and I didn't get punished for like 3 maps. I was like, "Well, this is kind of
yeah, the
kind of
Tenacity
nice."
game was a high point. I'm not gonna lie.
Anyone else? I've completely lost track of who went and who didn't.
My favorite one was definitely the Tenacity game.
My favorite moment was watching Archivists win 0 maps all season. I don't understand why Chef Zombie would ever bench me.
Well, I mean, Chef Zombie
Over
also
that
decided
guy.
to bring Smurfs too, so I don't think
I
he's
mean,
very,
that's why Chef Zombie is banned.
He wanted out that bad.
instead of just being an adult and leaving on his own.
And also, another highlight, ratioing him on Twitter.
Didn't like 4 people do that at once?
Yes,
Yeah.
probably.
I can't speak to Gerg, but I'm
I
pretty
joined in with all
Gerg's
4
favorite
ratios.
moment was Judy Hopps.
Oh my.
Do I
So
want to know?
there was
Yes, you
a
do.
couple
Oh
games
no.
like towards the end of the season. We all had our well, most of us had our profile pictures on like the Cop Diva one, because it was the
Yeah.
closest to
Cop
Judy
Diva.
Hopps. I don't exactly remember how it started, but we were
It
talking about
started
pegging.
From this
And
tweet in
It
general.
started from something I'm pretty sure
It was definitely Georgie.
Gurgler or Georgie or SBT shared relating to Baby Diva and Judy Hopps having similarities. Like,
You know what?
famous
That's what it
diva.
was.
Hey man, hashtag I can change her, bro.
I can change her.
Yeah, our team chat name in Elemental server is like Judy Hopps Peggers. Yeah.
I would say the entertaining part of that entire thing was when I changed the team chat to that, because both Kylist and Null were not available to be at the game or scrum we were at when it happened. So they both just came back to that being the name of the team chat from then on.
I was looking for our general chat and I was wondering where it went, and then I'm like, someone must have moved it. What's this chat? And then I saw a chat that was like this is the general chat, and then I yelled at him. I'm like, why is this here? What is this?
And then it never got changed back.
Yeah, because I don't care anymore. It's funny.
I think that's everyone, right? Or did someone not go that wants to?
Yo, I got a memory.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite memory was when I beat Exodus on Root, because that's our map, baby.
Who the
Yeah, let's
fu-
go,
Who
Root.
the fuck asked, bro?
You suck, bro. You lost Root. That's our map. That's our
Who
map.
Who the
Mortal
fuck
Kombat
asked?
map. Let's go.
You heard us for Gibraltar 1 tricks.
I mean,
Yo,
I
Gray,
will
you're in
say,
Who the
Zero
fuck are
Intermediate.
Okay,
you?
that was Tyler's fault. Not
My
ours,
favorite
right?
part of the week
Let's
was
go,
always
let's
seeing
go
Tyler
Chib.
play.
Let's go Chib. Yeah, guys, let's go
My
Chib.
favorite, actually, no, my actual favorite memory was watching the
Monty?
Monty shatter.
No.
Oh my
Monty.
god, don't remind me, please.
Is that against you,
Don't remind
Daniel?
me.
No,
that
No,
it was
against
Vitalize.
it was against Vitalize.
On
and
Anubis. It is now a gift.
I
You'll
was
be
doing
your
so
Zero
much.
Intermediate.
I was doing so
I
much
was-
in that series, then we lose.
I was present,
I'm incredibly upset.
Zed, who played main tank for the bench last year, made that GIF, and I was present for it being made in the server, and it was just it was an amazing moment to watch live. Truly, Monty just hit going straight to the goalposts on the shatter in the back line, and then dying.
Losing map 5s back to back to MI6 and Vitalize actually just ruined my mental. Like, I did so much in those series and we lose. I wanted
You
to
literally
cry.
could not have carried that team hard enough. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
There is
man.
literally
I don't know
nothing
what I
you
could
could
do.
have done. Not with Monty playing like that.
I remember going on interview and calling Mortal Wombats a Mickey Mouse team.
I'm pretty sure that's stuck for the rest of the season.
Kinda.
There was a pretty funny moment in scrims where Gurk has a LF Dami Mommy account, and
Oh, no.
he left this mid scrim to go because I forget who it was. Someone said they found someone in another scrim whose like account name was Dami Mommy. Had an
think someone
interaction with this
asked
person. Yeah, he had an interaction with this person, and they said, "I'm 17," and then he Alta Ford.
He yelled in voice chat and then alt F4 Overwatch instantly.
I think I have the clip somewhere.
But I will say my favorite part of the week throughout all of like this most recent League Zero season was getting a ping from Tyler saying, like, when can Mortal Wombat scrim Exodus?
It was like a running meme.
It was an ongoing joke till the end of the season.
We tried really hard.
You did.
We tried so hard.
I had, was it Aplon come in my DMs as well?
I think
Kinda talked me
Noel
into
once
it.
said like that we weren't like good enough to we're screaming like what the hell like. come
I
on.
never said you weren't good enough. I just said
I think it was Noel.
we'll see what we
That's
do.
probably
It
not.
probably was no.
It was heavily implied.
Like damn, okay. But still, we won root, so that's all I care about.
At least you got root.
Yeah.
Alright, well that's all I've got for you guys. I don't want to drag this out too long, otherwise
Oh, finally, I
one-
can get away from fucking Laser, bro. He smells so fucking
He's
bad.
gone.
he left a while ago.
Oh, that's why. Wait, who smells in here? It's not me.
Me.
Anyways, that's all I've got. Thank you all for showing up. Thanks for anyone watching. I'm gonna end this so I have time to set up the Papega Parrots one in like 20 minutes. So until next time, don't die.